The Real Monica Adams Show is brought to you by Exist Stretch. Stop by for your free consultation and 30-minute introductory stretch today.
And we are so excited to have Exist Stretch as our title sponsor. If you haven't been in yet, look, you say right there, free stretch on us. Why would you not be in already? In fact, we've been talking about those of you that have been in and how your life has changed already. Whether you're an athlete, you're coming back from an injury, trauma, or like the gentleman that allowed us to come and see him being stretched. Rich, thank you so much. And that's Trisha, by the way, who's been joining us the last couple of weeks, one of their head therapists. Rich has been talking about how his tremors have changed when he is being stretched. He has Parkinson's, which today we're going to talk about our friend Tim Ezell and what he's been going through in his own journey. And I know he goes through some stretching and boxing and continuing to be an incredible athlete like he's always been. That's right, Tim Ezell from Fox 2. He is a dear friend of ours, and we have been trying to do this interview for, over 2 years now, but God said now's the time. We're going to talk about his hardest story yet, right? Faith over fear. And for those of you that had a chance to go to the wonderful event last week, can't wait for you to drop in a comment about your love for Tim. So wait for that coming up here shortly. But again, if you haven't been over to Exist Stretch, they have 2 locations. They have one in South City, which is in the St. Louis Hills area, 5605 Hampton, or go see our friends over at Exist Stretch in Arnold on Vogel Road. ExistStretch.com and follow them on social media at Exist Stretch. Well, good morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. I'm your host, Monica Adams, and thrilled to have you along with us. If you're new to the show, welcome aboard. We are on multiple platforms, so tell your family and friends to wake up to some inspiration and positivity, giving you a little hope for the morning. We also give you some news you can use, and as you're heading out the door, here's what the weather is looking like today. It's been pretty gorgeous. I hope you've taken advantage of that, got out and do your exercise, or right now, maybe you're going to head out and take the doggies for a walk. That's what my dogs are waiting for. Come on, Mom, get home. 80 degrees today. Beautiful. 58 tonight. A little breezy, by the way. Tomorrow, pretty much a picture-perfect day and a mirrored image of today. Then we get into Thursday, some late-night storms and a high of 83, down to 63 Thursday night. Scattered rain and storms on Friday. The Cardinals are back in action at Busch. It's 75, 57 for a low, and then we get into Saturday, another beautiful day, mid-70s. It's St. Louis City SC and the Cardinals in action on Saturday. Sunday, 30% chance of afternoon rain, 75, and then into next week, pretty much low 70s for the remainder of the next week, and only on Monday are we talking about a chance of rain right now. So beautiful days ahead for sure, and definitely back to feeling like it is springtime. All right, as far as news you can use, we start off with a story about a Southwest flight that avoided a collision at the Nashville International Airport. Right now, that is under investigation. Southwest is reporting that the investigation is underway after the flight was approaching BNA during gusty wind conditions and executed a precautionary go-around. In Nashville, the FAA just released the statement on the incident involving the 2 Southwest flights. The information is preliminary. They said subject to change. The crew of Flight 507 initiated the go-around at Nashville International, then received instructions from air traffic control that put the flight in the path of another airplane that was departing from a parallel runway. Both flight crews responded to on-board alerts. They are continuing the investigation. This happened, by the way, 5:30 local time on Saturday. You know, this always scares me. I was involved only once. I want to do some more of these, but all of you that are in the triathlete world or those Ironman competitors, we have mad respect for you. But I'm always fearful of something like this happening. An Ironman athlete died in a lake during the swim portion of the race. This happened in Texas. The racer's drowning happened in the Woodlands. According to the Sheriff's Department, firefighters responded. They received reports of a lost swimmer in Lake Woodlands. Boats had to use their sonar to find the victim. They say the swimmer sank to about 10 feet. The victim's body was taken to the medical examiner to determine the cause of death. That drowning now under investigation. By the way, another swimmer died in the exact same lake during an Ironman event back in 2017. All right, this just went wrong in so many ways. And in fact, the thing thing that I think is interesting about this, the event that was put on in South Carolina did not have the okay to have fireworks. And I believe that is what caused those horses in the area to freak out and then stampede. And there were multiple people that were injured. This was a rodeo and a concert. People were shaking because, again, these horses just came out. They were toppled. There were multiple people, 8 of the people taken to a hospital, 10 people treated on site. In the chaos of the stampede, 8 people were also arrested for disorderly conduct. Police said that at those arrests, some in the crowd were throwing beer cans at officers. The paid event brought in a crowd of about 1,400 people. Fireworks, which again were never supposed to be set off, caused that stampede. The organizer continues to say that they had the rights to do so. But again, as I mentioned, I saw the paperwork. It literally was never checked that they were supposed to have fireworks. So kind of crazy. All right. You always want to know, where can you dispose of your medications? Well, here is a rundown for you of where you can safely dispose of those around St. Louis. The North County Precinct, Central County, which is on Ashby Road, South County on Sappington Barracks, the city of Fenton right here on New Smizer Mill, Wildwood, Cities Hall, West County Precinct in Valley Park, the Jennings City Precinct, and then the Afton Southwest Precinct. National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day is this Saturday. So a handful of locations for you. And if you didn't get a chance to make note of all of those, I am going to drop the comment for you right now in the comment section so you can know where to go for those. Well, I know that our dear friend, Zach Kimball, who directs our show every day, went to SIUE, so he might be happy about this. A groundbreaking was held for Goshen Commons in the Edwardsville, Illinois area. The pedestrian plaza and park space will repurpose a block of St. Louis Street between North Main and 2nd Street. It is expected to open for public use in the fall, so congratulations to them. All right, we have a Harley, and hopefully it's not included in this, but if you're a Harley rider, I should say, Harley Davidson is issuing a recall of several motorcycles for potential rear brake failure. The line, they said, may contact the body control module, resulting in a hole in the brake line, a brake fluid leak, and loss of rear brakes. So it includes more than 16,000 2025 and 2026 FLHC, FXBB, FXLRS, and then FXLRST Softail motorcycles. Owner notification letters are expected to be mailed out to you by the middle of May. You can also use your motorcycle's VIN to see whether it is, in fact, affected. All right, did you watch Days of Our Lives or maybe Melrose Place? This was interesting. 57 years old, this gentleman, if you are familiar with Patrick Muldoon. I was a big fan of Days of Our Lives, and I when I saw this morning, I'm like, he had to be way too young. He was Richard Hart, by the way, in Melrose Place, and he played Austin Reed in Days of Our Lives. His manager confirmed to Variety that he died suddenly on Sunday. He died after a heart attack, but again, only 57 years old. Just 2 days ago, they shared his excitement on Instagram as the executive producer for a project that was filming in Australia. So super, super sad. Thoughts and prayers going out to the family. All right, in St. Louis baseball, Cardinals news. The Cards unfortunately losing to the Marlins. The yesterday score 5-3. It's the same 2 teams today. First pitch will be at 5:40. And then what's on tap for you today? National Yellow Bat Day. Okay, National Kindergarten Day. It is National Rendering Day, Chocolate Covered Cashews Day, and if you are a bookworm, National Library Workers Day. There you go. First 10 minutes of the show, getting you all up to date on some things we think you might want to talk about and some news you can use, not the negativity of the world. In fact, the person who knew he didn't want to be involved in negativity and wanted to bring positivity is Tim Ezell. He wanted a breakup of the news, right? For many, many years. We're going to talk about his journey in television and then having to step away. A lot of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Tim. If not, if you're outside in another city or state, or even, I know a lot of you watch in other countries, we want to introduce you to one of my dear friends that I worked with for 15 years at Fox 2 and brought the joy to you each and every morning. And I know you've been following his journey, hopefully getting a chance to go to the Faith Over Fear event. What is he doing now? How is he doing on his journey? And what's to come for Tim? We're going to talk about all of that as Tim Ezell joins us on a Testament Tuesday, which is brought to you by the way, our friends over at Childress Legal Nurse Consulting. We want to hear from Bridget because she has a message for you today that ironically blends in to a message that Tim has as well. So when we come back from this Testament Tuesday, Tim Ezell will join us.
everybody. This is Bridget. Happy Tuesday. You know, something that has been on my heart this week is restoration. And I really want to share my own testimony and my story with you. So when I think about restoration, I think about God stepping into something that almost broke me, our family, my marriage, and he stepped in and said, I'm not done here. I'm still working. So my husband has been walking through sobriety for a year now, and if I am being totally honest, there was a season where it felt like everything was being just stripped away. And, you know, of course, I had all those questions that you always ask about Monica, you know, why? And it was our connection, it was our peace, it was even our sense of family. But what I've witnessed is that restoration happens in layers. And God started restoring the small things first. It was the conversations, it was trust, and then presence, and then something deeper. And he began restoring our family as a whole. And what that meant was that the enemy no longer had his claws in us, that what he meant for evil, God used for good and brought us together. So, and it has brought us closer. And I think what people need to hear, or at least what I know what I would have, is that restoration isn't about going back to what was, right? It's about God building something stronger than it ever was before, because he's in the center of it and we've surrendered and given it to him. And we didn't just get our life back, we got a better one. We got a whole one. And so there is, when you look at the word restoration, you know, there's a new story inside restoration, and it's only something that God could write. We're not perfect. We're still growing, Bill and I, and but we're whole in a way that we weren't before, and it's beautiful. So I want to just encourage anyone that if you're walking through a hard time in your family, in your marriage, in your job, with your children, anything, don't give up, because God is not done. He is still working in the chaos of it all. Restoration is real, and healing is real. And so, sometimes it's the things that breaks you that brings you closer together. I know it sounds really weird. And for that, we are so grateful. So thanks. Have a great Tuesday.
Wasn't that great? Bridget, thank you, by the way, for being so raw, so real, and thank you for being a part of Testament Tuesday that we started a couple of months ago, brought to you again by Childress Legal Nurse Consulting. You know, that message that she has, my friend understands. We're going to talk about that part of his journey as well. Folks, we've been wanting to do this for 2 years now. Welcome, Tim Ezell.
This is a well-seasoned edition, right? We've been waiting. It's been marinating a while.
Is it done yet? I think it is.
I think it's
that
done.
steak needs to be flipped.
Yeah, I think it does need to be flipped. We're ready to go.
We looked back, and Zach said, you guys tried to do this in February of 24. So
Wow.
I thought I was kidding when I said a couple years in the making. How are you?
I'm doing well.
It is so good to see you. I hated missing your event, but oh my goodness, 500 people came out, and thank you, St. Louis.
Oh my gosh.
And I know this was a very emotional part of it. I watched I think it's a 10-minute clip that's on Ron Young's page. Thank you for putting all that out there, by the way. So just kind of recap for me. What did that night mean to you?
I'm still processing.
I'm sure.
Really. But looking out and seeing all those faces and the stories behind every one of them was just, St. Louis loves their own. And here comes this guy from Fort Worth, Texas. via Panama City, Florida, and they could have gone either way, really, you know. And St. Louis has embraced me, and it's become home for me. And to look out there and see that many people, mind blowing.
Yeah.
Just I was blown away time and time again. My family was in town; they were part of the program. I mean, it was incredible. I couldn't have ever imagined it in my wildest dreams.
So he just said it, you know, you came here. In fact, you and I first connected when I was over at WIL. We did a bunch of stuff together.
Yeah.
I think one of my favorites was, rest in peace, our dear friend Henry Lovelace. You had come over into the studio and we're like, we're going to have Tim put you through a chair workout. Yeah, sure.
Right.
So we would do so many different things, kind of cross-promotional between TV and radio. And actually, Tim Ezell and our dear friend Randy Naughton are instrumental of how I got from radio over to TV. They all talked to the news director at the time. They're like, hey, bring her over here. And it was such an incredible 15 years that I had a chance to work with all of you. And still, and what I saw when everybody was up on stage and praying with you was not just your family, your immediate blood family that came into town, but April Simpson was up there. Margie Ellisor was up there. It was the TV family, because it really is family. It's who we spend so much of our hours with.
Absolutely. And they've seen us at our worst and our best, and all in between.
Absolutely.
And have stuck with us through it all. And I couldn't be more thankful for my Fox 2 family.
28 years?
Almost
28
would have
years?
been 28 this July.
Incredible. And again, as he mentioned, he came by Florida, so you were in sports back then.
I started as a weekend sports anchor in Panama City, Florida. I had been working in New Orleans as a freelance intern, doing whatever they'd let me do. And I got my first job as a weekend sports anchor, and I did so many goofy stuff on sports that the news director came to me and said, hey, I'd like to come to the morning show to break up the news and weather with whatever it is you do. And I said, okay. And he goes, now we don't know how to tell you how to do this position because we've never had it. And I'm like, great, I can ask for forgiveness instead of permission. So I did it. I fell in love with being able to be a bright spot in the midst of all the crime, politics, chaos, whatever happened overnight. We can tell people, hey, there's a reason to take the sheet off your head, get out of bed. There's good things going on out there too.
Amen. So. And that's what I loved. And that is what I connected with, because you and I both so many times would talk, and I was like, the negativity of the news is not what serves us.
Right.
And but it's it's in us that's what was always there to wake up. And I know it's changed a lot over the years, and for some of us it breaks your heart, because I was a true journalist and was in news for the first 12 years of my radio career, and then got in and did traffic, which by the way, I loved that, because somebody said, hey, traffic diva, still tell everybody that this is work zone awareness week, and so be careful in Missouri and Illinois this week. I'm like, got it, I'll do that.
I get that in.
I'll get that in for you. So we did a lot of also fitness-related things together. Now, my friend Dot swears that this is her favorite picture. We dug back into the archives and we found this. Do you remember wrapping yourself up in bubble wrap and then asking me to box you?
Yes. I do remember. Here it is.
I told my husband, I'm like, did you ever see this? He goes, no. And I go, he looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
I really do.
So, Tim, when you were a kid, because I never asked you this, when you were a kid, were you always goofy and acting up?
Yes.
Yes.
Guilty as charged. Comic relief, right?
So Mom and Dad were like, yep, we expected this.
They kind of knew that. My whole family's a character, really. I mean, they're all characters. So, I mean, they stepped into, we did some game shows at the event with my family, and they just stepped in and owned it,
You did the one with Isaac Bruce that I think is one of my favorite things that what would you call it?
The $80 trapezoid.
$80 trapezoid,
Not a pyramid, because we only had flat top. We only had enough budget for 5 questions, not 6. And we named it the $80 trapezoid because Isaac Bruce was the first one to do it, and he wore number 80, so we
that's why.
The $80 trapezoid. And we do it with every celebrity that came in. We'd put them through the trapezoid, and that was so much fun.
Again, I think it's the blessing that God gave you was let him do what his passion is. Let him make St. Louis and everywhere he went, let him make everybody laugh and break up what they feel is horror out there in the world, right? And that's why so many showed up for him last week. That's why people continue to show up. And that's why, Timmy, they're so concerned about you, because they'll get glimpses of you. You've been on some different shows. Yeah. They'll follow you on, on your social media channels, but they want you to be well. So for those that are just tuning in, and you may not know my friend. Again, this is Tim Ezell. We worked together at Fox 2 for many, many years. It was how many years ago that you came out?
2021. Well, I got diagnosed in 21. In 23, I came public with it, that I was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And then you went to the Mayo Clinic, and they said it's MSA?
Well, they thought it was MSA before
Okay.
I went. That was a crazy trip. I mean, MSA is very similar to Parkinson's, but it's much more aggressive, moves real quick. And I hit all the check marks for it. It was actually my friend Stan Schillinger. He had written in, I didn't know him at the time, but he wrote in and said, thanks for being so honest about your journey and talking about it. And he said, I have MSA. And I'm like, what's MSA?
Yeah.
And I looked it up. It's multiple system atrophy. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I called Kim. I said, I check every box. And I talked to my neurologist about it. And he said, yeah, you've kind of been on that track. But there's nothing you can really do except have the knowledge of it, right? And I became really close with Stan. And I started visiting him on a regular basis and getting to know his family. And he passed away, and I got to officiate his services and still close with his family. But when I got to the Mayo Clinic, they did all the testing on me that was scheduled, and they said, there's nothing here that sways us from an MSA diagnosis, but I'd like to do one more test. And she said, I'd like to do a spinal tap because the proteins will fold a certain way if it's MSA and a certain way if it's Parkinson's, more Parkinson's. So she did, and it came up more Parkinson's, which was a huge blessing.
Absolutely. And again, it's been this road like this of what?
Yeah.
And so many people, so this is the thing, and for those of you that don't know, I mean, and any of the people in the area that woke up and saw Tim, and then suddenly it's all these different things. If they didn't know this part, his deep, deep love for God, I think when you made the announcement that you were initially leaving Fox 2 and going to pastor, there were a lot of people of, huh? And I'm like, this is the part you don't know about him. Right. And then when you came back, I loved this, that Fox 2 gave you the opportunity to bring God into the story.
And even asked me to.
Yes.
You know, it was during the pandemic, and they said, we need some hope.
Yep.
Would you bring some hope at the end of the 5 o'clock news? I said, I'd love to.
Yes.
And and I can take very little, if any, credit for that because God gave me something to say every day. It wasn't me. It was God giving me something to say every day, and I'm thankful, so thankful for that.
So tell me, my prayer when I open my eyes every morning is always, thank you for the breath in my lungs, and then it goes into, how do you want me to change the world? What do you want me to say? How can I do your work?
Yeah.
What do your prayers sound like?
My prayers say, you've given me another day. You know, how can I serve you in it? Mm-hmm. You know, there was a saying in Jesus' day, may you be covered in the dust of your rabbi, which meant you're following him so closely that the dust of his sandals kicks up over you. May I be following Jesus so close that the dust of his sandals covers me. Don't let me stray to one side or the other or lag behind, but let me stay right behind you. Because left to my own devices, I'll end up in the ditch somewhere, off the roadside, lost. I got to stay on him. I got to stay with him.
You just give me chills.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Again, Tim Ezell. Folks, I told you I was going to have him on live. If you have any comments or questions you want to drop in, we are going to be talking. I wish we could go on for hours and hours today, but cognizant of his time and blessed to have him in studio, we're going to find out, again, how's he doing? What's his journey? I'm excited coming up in the beginning of May. You are going to be the keynote speaker for Missouri Baptist.
For the commencement. That's a huge honor. I'm blown away by the offer and the opportunity, but I'm looking forward to it.
You taught there.
I did. I taught there. I was the director of the media program there for a little over a year. The plan was, I had big plans, but again, August 29th, when things went kind of haywire on Fox 2, and I knew I needed to address my health thing, I had to step down from both and just kind of figure out where things were going and what we needed to do.
We're going to take a break, and I want to come back to that because, again, you're going along in life, loving what you're doing at Fox. Then you're pastoring. Then you come back to Fox, and you're teaching, all these things. And I want you all to hear this because this man is deeply involved in his faith. It's very easy to say, I don't understand, God. Why, God? Why? All those questions that all of you at home, and I want you to see yourself in Timmy's story, you ask those questions as well. Has he ever asked that? Does he ask that? All those questions coming up, as well as your comments when we return.
What if you could start your day feeling loose, relaxed, and ready? Deep hydrotherapy right in your backyard. No commute, no appointments, just warmth, relief whenever you need it. Sore muscles recover faster, tight joints loosen up, tension you carry all day, gone. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms. Spas and More, A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the ah in spa.
Get you caught up on your news headlines. For that, the Hamburglar.
It's your birthday. I'll let it pass. Thank you. No, I won't. I'll get you later. Moving on to news now. A city street department truck was de-icing the roads this morning. It was hit by a car in
Oh, the Hamburglar.
Oh my gosh. It will never go away.
No.
Thankfully.
We all just I think it is the biggest belly laugh I think I've ever had in my life. Her looking back. Again, here's what we talked about. If you're just tuning in, this is Tim Ezell, again, from Fox 2. That's where you knew him for almost 28 years. And a lot of comments coming in. We will get to those in just a second. A lot of them obviously saying, Tim, we love you. We miss you. We wish you the best. The family that we all had at Fox 2 and still have, the deep, deep friends together. But the connection that you and April had, and you too, from what I understand, at the Faith Over Fear event, did you recreate that?
We recreated the moment. Yeah, she came out in the Hamburglar outfit, which was beautiful, with the shirt on. Yeah, she family for sure. You know, my family loves her, and my whole Fox 2 family. I mean, they just, my family is so thankful for the family I have around me, because we don't have any family in town at all. All our family is in Louisiana and Texas, and they're just so thankful for the folks who have wrapped their arms around my family and I and called us their own. And, you know, that's one of the unique things at Fox 2. You know what Fox 2 gave me? They gave me space. Mm-hmm. They said, here's your space, and it was 9 to 10, and go do you. And because I'm really good. I think that I can go into a structure and go all day and be creative in that, but I can't build the structure.
Right.
That's not my gift at all, anywhere close. So I'm thankful that they gave me the space to be me, mm-hmm. and to do that. I mean, it was a lot of freedom.
You and then our dear friend Kim Hudson.
Yes.
And so many people that everyone was like, wait, we want Tim to be in that. And then Tim brought people in. And, you know, I would watch that in bits and pieces. And once you made the announcement of your diagnosis, I was like, okay, I wonder how long Tim is going to be able to do this. And I know it's going to be hard when he has to step away. So we went into the break saying that of how easy it would be to say, why? So with you being so deeply having this profound faith, do you still say why? Do you question it at all? Because people would think that you would.
No.
Yep.
I mean, why not me? I mean, other people go through stuff. You know, other people have it. I'm not the only one fighting Parkinson's. I'm not the only one fighting some illness or some struggle in their lives. It's a fallen world. I mean, it's a broken world. You know, sin has broken this world, and things are not right on this side of things, and never will be completely right on this side of things. And my healing's coming. Yeah. My healing's coming, whether it's on this side of things or on the other side. My healing is coming, and so I know that God's got me, and I know this didn't take Him by surprise, and so I try to be, you know, as Paul said, rejoice always, pray without ceasing, be thankful in all things, walk humbly with your God, and love the next person who crosses your path.
I think the powerful thing when Ron was praying over you was the vessel that you are, as well as heal him. Now, it may not look like what we think the healing should be.
Exactly.
And I think that's what's hard for a lot of people of, wait a minute, we want it to look like this, and that we are not obedient and we fight against what God's wishes are.
Yeah, and people say, are you having a good day? Sometimes I'm having a good hour. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different, throughout the day, it can change. Things come and go, but, you know, I've got a rock in Kim, my wife. She is just amazing, you know. And as I said this at the event, I said, if I had to choose between a life without Parkinson's and without Kim, or a life with Parkinson's with Kim, I'd take it with Parkinson's and Kim every day.
I love that woman. We're seeing pictures of her.
Yeah.
We've had so many incredible times. She just literally, like Tim, and the two of you are so wonderful together. You walk into a room and the whole room is better. The whole room lights up. You have a beautiful relationship. Where did the two of you meet?
Walmart. Walmart in Fort Worth, Texas. Yeah, it was the summer before her senior year of high school, summer after my first year of college. I was working in sporting goods. She was a cashier. A friend in paper goods told me she wanted to meet me. We met in Action Alley, which is the main drag there in Walmart. I got invited to the party, and the rest is history.
Yeah, again, and beautiful children. How are your kids?
Kids are great. Yeah.
How old are they now?
Hallie's 24.
How
believe
is
it or
that
not.
possible, Tim?
Lexi's 21. Andrew's 19. I mean, yeah, they're growing up fast. Yeah, they're doing great though.
I saw an interview that you did, and I don't remember who was doing the interview, but you were talking about your sobriety. And I want to thank, again, Bridget for telling us a story about she and her husband and what they've gone through. And she said it almost broke their marriage. You understand this. You have gone through the same. You've been sober for how many years now?
Since November 3rd, 1991.
91. Wow.
How about that?
Exactly. And I know that you have talked about, again, whatever the interview was that I was watching, it was the fact that you were talking to your kids, and then your kids were like, "Dad, you're a drunk? You were a drunk?
Yeah.
What?"
Yeah. I mean, they were young, and Kim had made me a banana pudding, which I love, for celebrate my sobriety day. And I kind of explained to the kids, they were younger, but I tried to explain it to them. And Hallie's like, "You're a drunk?" I'm like, "Well, yes, yeah. I'll always be an alcoholic, but I'm sober." And explained it to him, and I was on my way out the door because I had a night class at Covenant Seminary that I was taking classes at the time. And Lexi stood up in her chair and goes, "Hey, Dad, don't drink any wine on the way to work, all right?" I'm like, I think she gets it. I think she got it.
Now, the other thing I remember you saying was, and it is true, my father was an alcoholic, and a lot of you that knew my dad were like, no way, he was great. Yes, he was, and he was functioning, right?
Yeah.
But it was never getting to the reason why. Why do you think that someone ever turns to whatever the addiction is? For you, did you ever get to the root of that?
Oh, yeah, the trigger for me was when my dad left home. When my parents divorced, my dad left home. I was in 8th grade. Boom, there you go.
Yep.
I took my first time I drank, I blacked out, and that became a part of my drinking career, and living in fear of answering the phone for fear of what I did over the night before that I don't remember doing, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was definitely the trigger. But there's been a lot of healing since, my Uncle Andy, who was at the event, he moved back to Baton Rouge right when I hit my bottom. He was going through a divorce. He was having his own hard times, but he was there for me when I needed him, and he took me to a meeting on that day, and I've been sober ever since.
That's incredible. Well, you know what? And so for those of you that are watching, whatever that addiction may be, whatever it looks like, the demons that, come into you and you feel like you can't release that, what would you say to them that think that they have no hope?
Oh, you have all kinds of hope. I mean, God is faithful. He is so faithful. And if that addiction is what's got you, you can lay it at his feet and he'll take it. He wants you to take it. And, I couldn't have orchestrated any of that. I mean, people say, oh, well done on all that sobriety. No, I walked in there broken. Yeah. I walked in that room completely and utterly broken. And those folks and God put me back together again. And that's the deal. And here's the cool part. You talk about God out in front. I had prerequisite course to graduate. I had 15 hours left, and I was scheduling my schedule in the fall. And they said, well, you can only take 12 of these because there's a prerequisite. And I'm like, that's going to make me I have to wait a whole semester to graduate because of that? And they go, yeah. And I said, well, I'm on scholarship with the athletic department, and I got to be full-time to keep my scholarship. They said, well, you're full-time as long as you have all you need to graduate. I'm like, hold up. You mean I can take that 1 3-hour class that meets once a day, and I'm good? And I said, yep. I'm like, we're done here.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
My weekend ends on Wednesday, starts again Wednesday night. And I thought it was to live that life continuing, but then November 3rd happens. Now that second semester comes, and I'm freed up. What am I freed up for? I can go to an AA meeting any time I want, and I'd hit 2 or 3 a day because I had the time to do it, and God provided that for me.
Well, and that's the other question I have. When did you always have God in your life? I
mean, yes, but I walked away from my walk. I was angry at God, and after my parents' divorce, for sure. And God, if you get angry at God, he can handle it. I mean, I was driving to pick up my daughter from high school one time. She was on the cross-country team. And she called me and said, Dad, can you pick me up? I'm on my run right now, but I'll be at the school in 10 or 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, sure. So I pick her up, and she goes, Dad, you passed me on the road. I'm like, I did. And she goes, yeah, who are you on the phone with? I'm like, I wasn't on the phone. She said, well, you were talking, and your hand was going up in the air, and you were, I'm like, oh, that. I was yelling at God. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I was yelling at God. I was mad at him, but he calmed me down. We worked through it. It's all good. He's got broad shoulders. He can take it.
You.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on here? But he can, he does have broad shoulders. He says, bring it all to me.
As a father, do you ever fear, because we know the statistics that say, and my mom used to always get worried, that one of us kids, because it's me and my two brothers, that one of us would follow that same path?
Oh, yeah, you never want your dysfunction to go to your kids. You hope that doesn't happen, but I've been upfront and honest with them.
Yep.
They can come and talk to me about it at any time. They know that, and God fills in the gaps. You do the best you can. I tell everybody, all three of our kids were raised by different parents, because you're different after the first one than you are with the second and third, because you learn some stuff, right?
Yeah.
And guilt and shame, those are tools of the devil. That's not from God. So we do the best we can with the wisdom we have at the time.
Amen. Amen.
And he fills in the gaps.
He fills in the gaps. Remember that. I think that is the phrase of the day. He fills in the gaps for you to remember. All right, we're going to go to your comment section. We also want to get, because a lot of people were like, okay, so you worked with Tim. When did he ever decide to put coconut bras and dresses on? Let's answer that question. Don't go anywhere. We'll have more with Tim Ezell when we return. Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@therealmonicaadams.com.
What if you could start your day feeling loose, relaxed, and ready? Deep hydrotherapy right in your backyard. Relax with your family or friends, or work out with our Michael Phelps Edition Swim Spas. Worried about maintenance? We have factory-trained service nearby whenever you need it. Plus, we're here for you long-term if you have any questions or need to refill supplies. You can even test spas at our showrooms. Spas and More, A+ rated, locally owned for 20 years. We put the ah in spa.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. If you have to run off to work or taking the kiddos to school, wherever you have to go, that's the beauty of streaming. You can go back, and I had a lot of people say, oh my gosh, I'm going to miss it. No. It's just the live portion, which allows you to interact with us. Otherwise, share this with your friends and family. The entire library of shows, by the way, is on my YouTube channel. Otherwise, Facebook, as well as Instagram, X, Rumble, Twitch, LinkedIn. Hello to all of you. Thank you for watching. And then share this with your friends and family. Tell them to go over to my YouTube channel, so that that is the one that always sticks around. Meta gets rid of those shows after about 30 days. So if you're looking for past shows, find them on YouTube. Again, you know him from his days at Fox 2. His journey is now continuing, and you're asking, well, what's next for Tim? We'll get into that in just a second. Timmy, we're going to go to some comments. A lot of people saying good morning. They miss you. They love you. It's a good day to have a great day, right? It's that mindset. Right. Beautiful start to the day. Let's see. So the humor. Good morning. Happy to have you on, Tim. The Faith Over Fear event was truly amazing and filled with God. Tim is loved, and it showed. His family is amazing. We missed you, Monica. I know, Kristen. I was telling everybody, I actually ran into Margie at church, and she's like, oh, I so hope you can come. And I said, I do too, but I could not change the event that I was a part of. Sure. So I hated missing it, but I'm glad that we were able to show up. So you had a ton of people there, first of all, and a ton of sponsors. And I happened to look at the sponsor, and I was like, oh, how sweet. So if you zoom in on that one, you'll see see not only our logo that's on there, but I also want to give a shout out to Defiance Ridge Vineyards because Chuck Gillentine, who's a good friend of ours, he also donated. So we were two of many, many people that wanted to be a part of that.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And thank you all that bought the silent auction items. Thank you to Reed Lowe, dear friend of both of ours, who did did he do a good job for you?
Oh, he nailed it. He
Good.
knocked it out the park.
Do we have any idea of how much was raised yet?
We do not know yet. They were still receiving donations.
Well,
Saturday
they are, and I
Sunday.
actually want to put this up on the screen. So if you want to pull your phone out, everybody, if you weren't able to go to the Faith Over Fear event, I do have a QR code that you can scan. There it is. So you can still give and help out, again, the fight and the journey that Tim is on. So if you missed that, or if you're driving, I know a lot of you take the show on the road. Please don't watch, just listen. You can go back to this and scan that code and be able to help out. Malik Good said, my old pastor, Ron Young, he's legit, and we love Tim.
Yes.
Have you two known each other for a while?
Yeah, we've known each other quite a while. We were doing a live show at the Jackie Joyner Kersey Center on the morning show.
Yeah.
And Ron was there with his church and the choir, and I put a choir robe on and joined the choir. I lip synced because I wasn't about to wreck that noise.
You can sing. I'll never forget your rapping, by the way.
Yeah.
You can sing, Tim.
I don't know about that. I can sing. Should I sing? It's
another story.
It's another question. But Ron and I have remained friends over the years, and just a great brother. I mean, we often get mistaken for each other because we have the same build. If you know Ron, you know the joke there.
Yes.
But he's great, and my family just loved him. You know,
Yes.
and he just loved my family, and
Well, if
What a
you haven't
blessing.
seen, you might want to follow him, by the way. That entire 10-minute clip of him praying over
Yes.
with Tim and his family on stage is beautiful. It'll make you cry, by the way. Linda says, we love and miss you, Tim. Great to see you, Tim, from Christy. Wow, 28 years almost. I remember when you started. I loved the thread segment, Linda says. I agree with that. Looking good, Tim. Waterloo misses you. That's from Richard.
thank you.
Yep. Good morning. So good to see you here, Tim. You are such an inspiration. We're praying for you. That's from Lana. Karen said, I love Tim. It was an amazing event. Praying for you. Karen, by the way, shout out. Thank you for buying the package that we had donated. She reached out and said, I got it.
That's awesome.
Bridget, hello and good morning to you. I loved him. I'm going to miss seeing him on TV. That's from Anita. You are such an inspiration, Tim. Prayers to you from Cindy. Let's see. I am in awe of you, Tim. This is from Marianne. You inspire me to be a better person. God bless you.
Wow.
Right? It's these, you have no idea the impact. And, you're going along in life, and then we never understand what our journey means to someone else and how you give them hope.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important for us to recognize things around us. Don't put the blinders on and just go through life, because you're going to miss the opportunities for blessing on the side and people who need to be blessed. And they use my own words against me on this event, because I first came out, I'm like, no, we don't need to do that. And they're like, Tim, you always say if somebody wants to help you, let them help you, because it does as much for them as it does for you. And I'm like, yes, I did. So, but and we were so blessed through it. And yeah, I mean, if you get the opportunity to help somebody, it is an opportunity for you to step into your calling, because we're all called to, we're all just one beggar trying to tell another beggar where to find bread. We're all fellow travelers along the road. And if we can help each other out along the way, that's what we're here to do.
The hard part, and I know because when we were setting this interview up, our dear friend Kay, by the way, thank you for reaching out. She was saying, I know Tim is not going to want to talk about the fundraiser. And I said, of course not, because you don't want to ask for that.
Right.
Right? But we all knew that you would show up and show up big time. Terry said, love you so much. God bless you, Tim. Good morning. Icon for sure, Michelle says. Let's see. I think I saw one from Bridget that came in. Okay, God's blessing to you and your family from Donna. Doug said, Tim officiated our friend Gary's funeral a year and a half ago. What a wonderful gift Tim is to all. All our best to you, sir. That's from Doug Stallman. Let's see. Okay, I miss the inspirational moments that Tim did. Wish we saw more of that on TV. Yeah, someone needs to take that and run with it, by the way. And they're not going to do it as good as you. But
it's spirit-led, man. That was completely God-led.
that was all God. Yep.
Spirit-filled, absolutely.
Amen, Tim, Bridget says. Let's see. What an inspiration you are, Tim. May God continue to bless you over and over. That's from Debbie Needy. Bridget says there is freedom and truth in letting the light into what we try to keep hidden.
Absolutely. Yeah, and here's one thing. If there's anything we learned from the pandemic, It's that all our earthly anchors fail, right? Anything that we hang on to for security, whether it be our jobs, money, fame, status, relationship, anything of this world that we hang on to, it won't hold. It just can't hold. You know, my faith informs me that the only thing that holds through the veil is Jesus Christ, and I got to hold on to him.
Can you imagine going through this journey without him?
No.
Right.
No way. No way.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going through this journey of life with or without Parkinson without him. I mean, there's enough struggles out there, but this one added on top of it, no way.
And I think that's the hard part for those that are lost, for those that have gotten angry with God, they've turned away from him, and they still haven't walked the path back.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to think that, but for us, I don't understand how we can get through it without holding his hand.
Well, and this condition, of course, has brought me closer to my knowledge of my finitude, you know, my death, my end, that we all, it could happen any day, right? It might not be the Parkinson's that takes me out. It could be a city bus or, you know, you never know. I mean, I'm just saying.
I know.
We don't know circumstances.
Right.
We just don't know. But what it should do is inform us of how we should live.
Yeah.
We should be dying should not be the end, because we know that it's an upside-down kingdom. It used to start with life and ended with death, and now it starts with death and ends with everlasting life. But it should inform us of how we should live. Live each day to the best we can, doing all we can, helping anyone we can, because we're not promised tomorrow, any of us.
When you were diagnosed, and it's hard not to, everybody WebMDs things, right? Oh my gosh, what is my life expectancy? Hopefully you're not doing that.
No, my
Thank
doctor,
you.
first thing he told me, don't play Dr. Google. And he said, don't be Dr. I'm like, I won't.
So, but when you were diagnosed, and I know it's looking like I want to be there for my daughter's this, I want to be there for
for
Kim,
sure.
right? It's hard not to go through all of that. But you are so close in your relationship that if it continues to progress, and then you look at the stages of it, do you have no fear for death?
No. No, God has been so gracious to me. I've had an incredible run, you know, and you know, my life in my hands is a problem. You know, my life in God's hands is a promise, you know, and a possibility and a purpose. So, yeah, I mean, taking my hands off the wheel, Jesus take. No, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. But I mean, yeah, I mean, giving him total control and letting him know that, and just surrender, and that's a hard thing for us to do, is to surrender.
Yeah.
You know, when I got sober, the first thing I learned was I was powerless over alcohol. But then I learned, man, I'm powerless over this. I'm powerless over that. There's a whole lot of, there's more I'm powerless over than I have any influence in, right? So when we can turn it over and leave it with him, and then live our days out to the everything he's given us is a gift. I told you when I got diagnosed with Parkinson's, it was during COVID time, and I went in, the doctor said, do you have a photo ID? And I said, you mean like a driver's license? He said, yeah. So I pulled it out, and he goes, now pull down your mask, because we were all wearing masks at the time. I pulled the mask down, he goes, you've got Parkinson's. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, your face is expressionless, it's drawn. Look at the picture. Look at the animation in this face and the lack of animation in yours. I'm like,
Wow.
And he did some other tests and everything, but and fatigue was another thing that had brought me in. And isn't it interesting that two things that I really relied on my job in Fox 2 was my facial expression and my energy.
Your energy, yeah.
And those were gone. And I thought, it kind of taught me, I'm like, and I always thought those were my gifts. They were never my gifts. They were God's gifts on loan to me. And he could take them away whenever he wanted. And now he's taking me and he's telling me, Tim, you know what? Those weren't your gifts. I'm taking them back, and I'm still going to use you, because I don't need those gifts to do so either. I can use you just as you are.
You do have a beautiful smile, by the way, and that's the thing. So yes, your energy, your expressions, which I loved, by the way. Whoever put everything together for the Faith Over Fear event, those stand-ups of
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I was like, these are hilarious.
Kelly did an amazing job. Kelly Whitnow on that, boy, amazing.
Okay, so you were known for a lot of things. We're going to go all the way back, though. So I don't know when it started with you, but when did you decide, I'm going to wear coconut bra dresses, and then eventually they got taken away?
Well, you know, it just happened with we had amazing producers that helped me
Amen.
in the morning. And you just had to take advantage of whatever gifts on the stage to deliver the funny, right? I mean, that was the idea, is to bring people some laughs, give them some giggles, something they could, you know, laugh about instead of cry over everything that happened overnight in the news. So, we were at a luau. We did like the luau, right?
Yep.
We did. And they were doing a record. Somebody was breaking the world record for the most bridesmaids at a wedding. So they said, send me to the story. You got to be a part of it. It's like when I rode the bull, right? They're like, what is Tim doing riding the bull? Well, we told you they were bringing a bull, but you didn't tell us Tim was going to ride it. Like, did you not think he was going to ride it if it was there? Of course he's going to ride the bull, And I mean, I just wanted to have fun and bring smiles to people. That was the whole idea behind the whole segment.
There were so many things that you were going to do. Speaking of luau, by the way, that was one of my favorite memories. You and Kim at our luau.
Oh yeah,
right.
And
Dan Gray, Michelle were there as well. We had
No
a
doubt.
fantastic time. Just again, looking back over memories over the years. But I think it's funny. So many times I think Tim's going to do this tomorrow. Wait, he's going to do what? No, wait. Do we have insurance for that?
Yes.
What do you think the craziest thing was that you've done in television?
Oh my gosh, I used to always say the next one because,
That's
but I
true.
can't say that anymore. But the bull was pretty crazy. I don't, that was pretty unconventional.
Yes.
But there were so many. There were so many. Like I was in a rodeo again with some rodeo clowns, and I was hanging out with the bulls, and I had my back to the bulls, and there's one clown over here waving at me, and I turn around and I see the bull scratch, like about to charge at me. I'm like, okay, I better get out of here. But we went live in Viburnum in a mine. Did
know
a
if I
live
remember
shot.
that one.
Oh, I mean, here's the cool thing: the engineering staff at Fox 2, unbelievable, and they never said no. They'd always say maybe. Mm-hmm. They said, well, let's try it.
The best ever.
They would try anything. So.
And they don't get enough credit, by the way. I say this
No.
all the time. You all hear me shout out to Zach Kimball all the time, and I'll say George Wise, who
Yes.
was the one who wanted me to do the show initially. All the behind-the-scenes people. It is everyone. We cannot do what we do and be able to do your passions and your love without the entire team.
And the photographers and the editors and the producers. I mean, yeah, it takes the whole team to get it done.
Absolutely. All right. So before we wrap up, we're going to go through some more. Kate, so grateful. Bestie, Friday night's event was so amazing.
Yeah, my bestie.
As we have said before, it's not what happens to us in life, it's what we do about it.
Yeah,
Kate,
for
thank
sure.
you for that comment. Annette says, you are such a blessing. Thank you, Tim. Continued prayers for you and your family. Matt, good morning to you. Wow, let's see. Tim, thank you for sharing your talents, your faith, and your journey with all of us. You are a true inspiration for everyone. Yep, Reed Lowe was a great auctioneer, for sure. I'm so glad a lot of you had a chance to go to the event. I missed him doing the pep rallies in the mornings.
Oh, yeah.
As at various schools. Yes, I mean, again, being able to highlight and show so many wonderful schools, businesses. Linda says, I've watched you for years, Tim. Love and prayers to you. My mom had Parkinson's. You are an inspiration to everyone. Loved watching you. Always made me laugh. Praying for you. So many comments coming in. I'll make sure Tim sees all these. Thanks for always making us smile and filling us with hope. You were very inspiring, Tim. We will continue missing you. Let me go back to that for a second, because we have a gentleman who... his name is Richard, and we've been showing him in some of our footage from Exist Stretch. His wife had him come in to be professionally stretched, and she said, watch what happens. So when he first starts on the table, there he is, his hands are tremoring as well as his feet, and about 24 minutes into Trisha stretching him, suddenly the tremors went away, and he goes, I'm not saying they're gone, but throughout that day, he's like, I feel better. And I think I heard you saying you're doing boxing, rock steady boxing, by the way, for anyone who has Parkinson's, please look into it. It's phenomenal.
Yes.
I used to have seniors that I personal trained, and we had them boxing, and
excellent.
some of those that had Parkinson's. So boxing, stretching, and lifting, all those helping you?
Oh, absolutely. I take a stretch class once a week. I do weights a couple of days a week. I do the boxing class three times a week. Movement is medicine.
Yes.
If you're going through whatever you're going through, man, if you sit, the disease will tell you, or the illness or whatever it is says, I just need to sit on the sofa and eat bonbons. No, you don't. You need to get up and work. You need to move around. And the movement it's medicine. It makes you feel better.
Well, Tim, you have always been a great athlete, great basketball player, by the way. And we did a lot of our fitness segments together, and I would put you through the craziest things. And
Yes.
you're just amazing athlete. And I think that's a hard thing of what this disease does. And as it progresses, it's hard to go, I used to be able to do this. I used to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And that's the struggles. But again, for any of you, I want you to hear that message. You've got to move. Don't let
Yeah.
someone that's going through, like, hold their hands, take them to those classes.
Yes.
Which one is your favorite right now? Boxing?
Man, it's hard to pick, but yeah, the boxing was the first one. That's the one that got me. And here's the deal: I was sober 2 years before I heard about it, because I hadn't gone public. And when I went public, man, I got email after email. You got to get to rock steady. You got to get to rock steady. You got to get to rock steady. And I'm like, I got to get to rock steady. So I did, and it has been a true gift. And the people I've met through it.
Yes.
I mean,
there were a bunch of people who came out to the Faith Over Fear event, right?
Absolutely. And it's those horizontal connections as well as the vertical that keep us upright and moving.
So where do you go from here? Because again, it was just a couple weeks back that Tim announced that he would not be returning to Fox 2. He is concentrating on his health. He is concentrating on his family. That's the most important thing. Yeah. His faith obviously continuing. So what is God leading you to?
One of the biggest things I'm doing in my prayer and meditation time right now is focusing on be still, know I'm God, and wait for next steps. Like I don't want to make a jump into anything that he's not saying, this is exactly what I have for you. I do believe he's calling me to write a book, and I'm working on that. And again, I said before, I'm not good at building structure, so that's going to be a challenge for me. I've got to put some barriers in place to keep me from just going off the rails. So you can pray for me on that. Pray that I get some structure in place. Any trials that come up, I'm willing to try any of them,
Sure.
Whatever it takes. And I want to be there for people who are newly diagnosed, to be a resource for folks if they need someone to talk to. Maybe I can help them out in that.
Absolutely, and reach out. That's the thing, no matter what it is you're going through, that
Right.
there's an organization out there. There are numbers to call. A lot of people, they're like, I'm so lost, I don't know where to go. And my answer usually is, go to church. There's a community waiting there for you.
Yeah.
Have you been asked to be like a guest pastor since this?
Oh, yeah. I've spoken at several churches, thankfully, been given the opportunity to do so. And I still welcome that.
Yeah.
Any chance I
I
get.
want you to speak at the crossing. That's where we go. That's
Okay.
where Margie goes too.
All right.
We're going to make that happen. Pastor Greg, have him, please.
I'm open.
I wish I could reach out and hug you. The show is making me smile today. Thanks so much, Bridget, of course. Hats by Diane. What a true inspiration you are to so many. God has indeed blessed you in his own way. What a powerful thing to say, for sure. I agree.
For sure.
Love our Tim. I'm excited to hear today's devotional. Yes. So Richard, he actually chose it. Let's see. St. Patrick's Day in Dogtown at Patrick Flynn's house with the bagpipes, Terry says.
Absolutely. Tradition, buddy. Tradition. Much love.
Positive energy and vibes, Tim. That comes from Terry as well. God bless you. All right, keep those coming in. And for all of you that weren't able to watch live, do a little hashtag replay for us. So I told Tim at the end of the show, and we're not ending, by the way, so we are going into overtime.
OT.
Yes. So we're going to talk about Guns N' Hoses, an incredible organization, Backstoppers, what they do for our heroes, our true heroes in uniform, right? Our police, firefighters. Tim and I, obviously, I'm the wife of a police officer, but we are big into supporting our heroes. There's a big Guns N' Hoses soccer game coming up at the end of May that we're going to talk about here in just a second. But Tim chose 100 Days of Healing. I think it was very fitting. Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
I'll let you read it.
Okay, I'm going to read it. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, our goodbye until we see each other again in another 2 years.
Yeah, let's not wait that long.
We need somebody to organize us.
Yeah, we need someone to keep us in line.
We're going to wrap up with Tim and then get into our Guns N' Hoses event. But before we do that, a quick break and back with 100 Days of Healing. Hi, it's Monica Adams. Thank you so much for following along with The Real Monica Adams Show. But I wanted to let you know there's so much more that I could do with you, your business, your corporation. Did you know that I'm a motivational speaker all around the world, as well as an MC and an auctioneer? So if you have an event, maybe a nonprofit organization, and you want to book me, just shoot me an email, info@therealmonicaadams.com. Keep those comments coming in. Tim's going to see them. I'll make sure if there's anything that you have as a question to him, I'll be sure to reach out. But we just read one that said that your kids evidently played together. Tim, we met you and Kim at the Balloon Glow in 2005. This is from Annette McIntyre. My daughter and your oldest started playing together. The rest of the evening was fantastic. Wonderful people. Annette, thank you for that story.
That's so good.
Joyce says, love how both of you are sharing Christ with so many. You are both the best of St. Louis. We appreciate that. I will tell you, Tim, when I started this show, I went to the Crossing in Chesterfield for the first time, and they've got a bookstore there.
Yeah.
Right? So these books I was drawn to because of their color. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, those would look pretty. Hey, Jim, you can build me a floating shelf. And at my old studios, we'll put the shelf there, and then I'll have them up there. And maybe I'll pull them down from time to time. God laughed and said, no, you're going to read them every day.
Every
They're going to
day.
be right there on the table in front of you.
That's good.
So people had said, did you know you were going to bring faith into the show? I've always been faith-based. I didn't know how powerful his message was going to be day in and day out. So we've been reading these devotionals from Stephen Arterburn. I will tell you, Tim, the one that most people choose is Fear and Anxiety.
Oh, I believe it.
We went through 100 days already with that one. That
Yeah.
book is still on the table if somebody wanted to pull it back out, but I replaced it the next time I went with
Yeah.
this one, which you choose. And a lot of people now choose this one. It's called 100 Days of Healing. So Richard said he couldn't wait to hear what today's is. This one is day 14, Sharing the Source of Healing. Is there no balm? Is there no physician? Why then is there no healing for the wound of my people? This is Jeremiah 8, verse 22. When we see or experience devastation, we naturally desire wholeness to return. Our hearts long for heaven, not hell on earth, because we were made for the eternal city. After an earthquake or an other natural disaster, compassionate folks rightly rush to help with money, goods, or a service. When someone we know has a health problem or loses a loved one, we give them what? Flowers maybe? Food? Our time, which would be the best. Those are all good ways to help people, but what about the other aspect of dealing with devastation? Have you ever wondered why we are not as quick to rush to someone's spiritual aid? We say, I'll pray for you, but often fail to point to Jesus as the ultimate healer. Ooh, the next time you see someone in anguish after a tragedy, remember that as much as they need physical help, they also might be in spiritual need. Consider what words and actions may help a sufferer move toward our Lord and Savior rather than away from him. What can you do to point someone toward the ultimate healer? Kay Arthur said, as I am generous towards others, as I see a person in need and don't just say, God bless you, I am proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ. Jim Elliott says, rest in this. It is in his business to lead, command, impel, send, call. It is your business to obey, follow, move, respond.
Yeah.
And Billy Graham says, God can certainly use natural disasters to speak to us, just as he can use other difficulties and tragedies to turn our hearts towards him. These are good ones, Tim.
These
This
are
is
great.
very fitting.
This is good stuff.
Today's prayer, Creator of all, forgive me for staying silent when I could have been an instrument in someone else's spiritual healing. Give me opportunities to witness to your grace and power, and grant me strength and faith to obey your call. Amen.
Amen.
Ooh, that one gave me lots of chills. That was fitting.
It's like the woman in New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina when her house was wiped away and the news crews show up and they're sticking microphones in her face and they're telling her, how do you move on after this? What's your next move? How are you going to ever survive this? And she says, my God's bigger than all this.
Woo.
To have the faith to say it in that moment and that time, that's faith that's been built up. Don't wait till the disaster comes to look for faith. And have the faith now so that you're prepared when that next obstacle or opportunity comes your way. Because everything in our life is not just an obstacle, it's also an opportunity for growth. Because there's something better on the other side. God's always got something better in your future than in your past. You can book it.
Let me ask this final question. Because you just said we're always learning, right?
For sure.
We're always a student of his. What have you learned most through this journey?
Continued surrender. Just continue to trust and trust and obey. Listen to him. Give it to him. Know that, I'm a precious loved child of God. That's who I am. That's the identity I have to start each day with. Live out of that. Too often we live out of the expectations of others or the labels that the world has put on us. The only one that has authority to speak into my life and tell me my identity is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And he says I'm his. And I walk in that.
God bless you.
God bless you, too.
I love you.
I love you, too.
I've missed you So we're not waiting 2 years for the
No,
next one.
we're not.
You are welcome back on the show anytime.
Thank you.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We're not ending, so stick with us, because if you want to support our heroes, there's an opportunity for you to do just that at the end of May. We knew it as Soccer Park. I used to play there. It's Worldwide Technology Park now, I believe. Yeah. We're going to talk about helping our firefighters, our police officers, our paramedics, our EMTs, and get a chance to sit down and talk to some of those heroes. So don't go anywhere. By the end of this, I want 100% raising your hands. I'm here to empower you because you all have intrinsic value. I don't care if someone has told you that you don't. Today, we are here to make you believe in yourself.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Bonacorsi, and I'm the president and founder of J Bloom. And I chose Monica Adams to be our keynote speaker because of the positivity that she illuminates whenever she speaks. She's an amazing influence and has so much impact on these women that they are going to leave changed.
It's a constant education. Never stop being the leader. If you are given the opportunity to be, and I hate the word boss, by the way, don't we like leader more? Have you all seen that image of a boss shouting behind their team and then the leader out in the trenches? And I know there's a lot of people that are thrown into your paths, and there are people who try to squash your dreams. It could be your partner, it could be your parents, your children, a boss that you've had, but you cannot, from this day forward, I'm going to ask you to not give them power any longer. So we think it, we write it, we hear it. Think right here. Make connections today. Then pave that way. You now have the awareness. So how do you pave that path?
Your message, like at the end, you be anything but before that, be kind.
Yep.
My husband's a pastor, and that every one of his sermons, that's always within it. That be kind.
Yep.
You have to be kind.
It is.
Oh, you're fine.
Look at this. So there's an employee out there who still thinks of you because you were kind to them. Never stop being that leader. By the way, I want to be remembered for this phrase when I'm no longer on this earth. The greatest rewards in life come from the most uncomfortable walk. God meant for me to talk to you. Oh, it's okay. You, honey, have a lot of value. And someone's told you that you don't. And I was meant to be in your life today. I've always said, I have chills. Do we all have chills? God, I say, if you can have me change one person's life, then I have done your job. I'm hoping it's all of you. But see, she's not okay for whatever reason. I don't know your story, but I'm going to tell you they're wrong. And all these women believe in you.
To hire Monica Adams for your next event, email info@therealmonicaadams.com.
Osage Ambulances.
Fowler off the side. Whoa! Has a runner, and we got a goal! Seeks Kreuzer. Kreuzer through ball. I'm not sure the other end was quite ready for it. Move. Distribution. Wonderful. Moreno!
He's coming.
Oh, it's a goal scorer for the first half. Has a friend in front, and it's stuffed in! Takes it through his wickets, unleashes, fingertip save! Benjamin Hess inside the goal line, toes one! Firefighters sending bodies all over the field. Limpert got the block, now a shot up top! Win, Guns and Hoses. Right foot, he does it! What a comeback! What a comeback by the police force today. The St. Louis Police.
Oh, you all know I love soccer. So this one was fun, and I was so glad that this came across my email. You also know I'm the wife of an officer, lieutenant, right, from the 4th Precinct, and forever have loved the heroes in uniform, our police officers, our firefighters, our EMTs, our paramedics. And you are probably familiar, if not, we'll get you familiar with the Backstoppers organization. Also want to give a shout out to Responder Rescue, what they all do to help our loved ones when they are killed or they are injured in the line of duty. Well, there's an event coming up at the end of May, and that was last year, by the way, and we will say the police won. So the Guns and Hoses soccer game that's going to take place at the end of May. We'll give you the full rundown of how you can get tickets. A true family event. It's going to be an amazing time. Well, before we get into that, I just want to thank 2 of our heroes because we have so many in our area. Our guest today, Brian Shellman, who I've known for a long time in my media career, Captain Brian Shellman, the Bureau of Tactical Support, 23 years in law enforcement, all with the St. Louis County Police Department, which is amazing. Captain of the Bureau of Tactical Support, which just happened, by the way, a graduate of the FBI National Academy Session 293, and Shane Monig, 28 years in law enforcement, been with Maryland Heights, by the way, since 2012, Detective Sergeant, Bureau of Investigations, and Deputy Commander, the Major Case Squad of Greater St. Louis. Gentlemen, both of you, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. We appreciate it.
You and I knew each other, I think, I don't even know how long it's been.
It's been probably since 2013 when I became the PIO for the St. Louis County Police Department and spent about 4.5 years in that position. So got to know and work with a lot of the media and, a pleasure working with you and just saw some old faces out there that I haven't seen in a while.
I know. Exactly. In between us wrapping up with Tim Ezell and then bringing these guys on, they're talking. I'm like, all right, guys, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever get a chance to work with Tim at all or get to know him?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially when I used to come down to the Fox 2 studios and hang out with some of you guys. And I remember one day that I did an interview with you about something obviously police related, and then had a good conversation with Tim for about 30 minutes after that. What
wonderful,
fantastic human being.
Yeah, absolutely. Shane, you and I have never had the pleasure of meeting, so thank you for coming in as well. And so it is, I just said all with St. Louis County. Can you tell everybody, because when we talk about the love for our town, and Tim just mentioned how St. Louis came out in full force last week for him, 500 sold out event, 500 people showed up, not from here, but St. Louis calls him that. What does St. Louis mean to you?
Raised in North St. Louis County, I'm very proud of our city. I go back to things as silly as radio, KC95, Rawlings, St. Louis Cardinals. Our family's we're one of the founding families of Ferguson in the late 1800s from Germany. And, it's just, I mean, everything about St. Louis calls to me. I chose in my career, the family to stay here. My youngest is 23, oldest is 32. So, St. Louis is home to us.
Absolutely. And it is. And it's the love. The other thing that we've seen over the years, Brian, is when I was growing up, it was officer friendly, right? And it was, oh my gosh, we can't wait for these officers to come in. We have seen the path of this go like this. You just mentioned Ferguson. Because still, for some people, still in their minds, still trying to climb back from that and put, unfortunately, St. Louis in a bad light for what some of you believe. But I hope, my hope is, and you all can tell me this, that I think that respect is coming back from those that maybe didn't have it at the time. But at the same time, I want you all to understand there were so many that maybe were silent before that came out big time in support saying, no, we want you to know we absolutely support the police.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that, even over the years, like I came on the police department back in 2003 and it was a totally different time. And then all of a sudden, August 9th of 2014 and Ferguson happens and, we felt like there was this shift, but to me, as somebody, and I'm sure for Shane as well, like people who are leadership on a police department, like the shift was for the good in the long term. It was a powder keg that was waiting to happen, but even during those times, I couldn't walk into a Quick Trip or, a gas station, a Schnucks grocery store without people coming up and under the table basically saying, hey, we really appreciate it. So we knew that there was that silent majority of people. And then, as the time has passed, the voices have become more and more. But a lot of that has to do with our police departments, everybody in the area doing their job as far as, that's why the shift to community policing has been such a massive deal. And guys take a liking to that, get to know the police officers in your neighborhood because they are part of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And please, for all of you parents, please, you're the ones that are setting the tone of it, right? So introduce them. I love when little kids come up to you or they get the big eyes and they're so excited, and then you guys are so sweet to say, do you want to see the lights? Do you want to see the car? They're like, yes, yes. Especially you just, my husband was in SWAT for 10 years. Oh, yeah. So when the big TAC vehicles come out, it's a whole nother level for them. So are you excited for this new position?
I am. So I spent 4 years as a sergeant in there. Now moving back as the commander is a little bit different because the tentacles are a little bit bigger. Obviously, I have our SWAT team, K-9, the helicopters, and our highway safety folks. But I am excited. It's obviously a very busy job. But you're right. In fact, as we're speaking right now, we've got our Bearcat, which is the armored vehicle, out doing a show and tell basically at a school. Yeah, locally.
Fantastic.
So, but those are the things, to your point, that it's nice to see the smiles on kids' faces, and we let them try to pick up the shield and see how heavy that is, or put some of the equipment from the guys on. But those are the things that we need. I always found it a small pet peeve of mine whenever I go to a Quick Trip or somewhere, and all of a sudden a parent says, "Oh, watch out for him. He's going to arrest you." And I'm like, "Well, what good does that do for a child?" Right? Exactly. Because we're not the bad guys. No. We take bad guys into custody, but obviously we're there for the community.
I remember somebody doing that with Jim. They're like, "Hey, Jim, will you put him in handcuffs and just scare the kid?" I'm like, oh, "Great, devastate him." That's not good. Again, if you're just tuning in, we're going to talk about a way to support our brothers and sisters in uniform: police, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, dispatchers. We want to go every level of these heroes coming up at the end of May. Before we get into that, though, I want both of you to tell me, what do you feel is your proudest moment of wearing the uniform?
I would say just the teamwork that not as an individual, is us as a group, whether it was early on in my career or as of late now as a supervisor in the detective bureau. I have 12 detectives that work not for me but with me. And I think just every day learning something new, just the teamwork that we're able to, accomplishment, problem solving, all the way around, yeah.
Yeah, same thing. There's a lot of significant moments and times in, over 23 years that just pop to mind, but it's not about any single moment. It's about the people, the camaraderie, like he said, the team, working with a guy like your husband. I mean, seriously, who's a good friend of mine, and knowing that every day that you show up in the same uniform, like you have each other's backs. I think that's what is most genuine about, the line of work that we've chosen to do.
Absolutely. And again, we want to come out. So I keep always saying, how can we help them? And I know a lot of you ask that. So we're talking about this soccer game. Did you two play in it last year?
I did.
You
I did not.
You did not?
Yes. I've played a lot over my career, but this will be the first time I'm lacing them back up in a while. So
you got this grin on your face. Yeah. Are you excited or are you worried?
Oh, I'm definitely not worried, but I'm worried for my hamstrings. But other than
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. Yeah.
Have you been? Hopefully, you're not just like we have. Think about all these weekend warriors that think they can get right back into something they did when they were a teenager. Have you been stretching and warming up and getting ready for it?
Yeah, and I do. I play consistently.
Oh, you
still
do?
Just not. Yes. So
do you also?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Is there anybody that's going to be playing that's just like, okay, I'm just going to come out here and just no?
I don't.
Everybody plays regularly.
Yeah. The fire EMS team's been practicing. We do know some of the players on that team. Andy Fowler from SCAD who's running that team over in St. Charles County. Our police team, we're comprised of 12 agencies, local, state, and federal. We've been practicing, kicking the ball once or twice a week up at Pattonville High School, along with people playing in their own leagues. So it's going to be high octane, high level soccer.
What position?
I've never been anything but a forward my
whole
career.
Yeah, midfield.
Midfield?
Forward, yeah.
Who's your goalie? I played goalie. Do you know? Who's your goalie?
We have 3 on our team. We did have 4. One went out on surgery. we've got high quality goalies.
Good.
I don't want to leak their names right now, but it's awesome. It's extremely awesome.
And police are going to win, correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah,
That
we
is
can't lose,
absolutely-
right?
Yeah, that's
We can't
right.
lose.
So again, for folks that don't know about this, Guns N' Hoses 2026 First Responder Soccer Cup. It's presented by Worldwide Technology. So May 30th, there's all the information on the screen, by the way. 6 p.m., doors open at 4:30 p.m. We call it Soccer Park. That's what you know it as. So it's Worldwide Technology Soccer Park here in Fenton. Police versus EMS and firefighters. Nathan Spees, by the way, is the Grand Marshal, and it is to support the Backstoppers. And this is what I wanted to make sure you all know. Backstoppers have helped 103 families and 78 children supported by Backstoppers. I want to hear it from both of you, though. I mean, that's the thing. We all report on these in the news, and we hear about it. We go to organizations. But what does Backstoppers mean to you?
To me, it means everything. Like, I was, I want to say fortunate enough, or, I almost pray every day that obviously nothing terrible happens in the line of duty to any policeman, firefighter, EMS, for any type of first responder. But the nature of our business is that inevitably at some point that's going to happen. I tell you that because when I came on the department in 2003, luckily for me at the time, we had never had someone lose their life until Officer Blake Schneider's life was taken in 2016. And, I got to the point 13 years into my career where I was like, well, we felt lucky or fortunate, and then all of a sudden that happens, and then Antonio Valentine after him, and I pray for the rest of my career that none of that happens, but you just never know because things change on a dime and things change by the minute in this profession. So the way that Backstoppers steps in and takes care of those families is, I've seen it obviously firsthand now, is just extraordinary.
It is, and the thing that I think a lot of you need to understand, as you just mentioned, we don't hear a ton of people taken in the line of duty. That's a good thing, but we do see catastrophic injuries that take you away from your passion, and that is what these organizations do so well, because it's those stories we hear more of.
That's right.
Right? So what does this organization mean to you?
To mirror what the captain said, it means everything. I've probably been to 25 of the 28 Guns N' Hoses boxing events, the huge event in November each year. Just the camaraderie and everyone pulling together, not just from law enforcement and fire sides, but everyone in the community that pulls together for our injured first responders, people that have died in the line of duty. What the captain was talking, I don't remember a day getting up thinking, I hope I don't get hurt today. I hope something doesn't happen to me. I don't think like that. Right. But to echo what he's saying, I always think about our guys and our gals, right? And I don't want anybody getting hurt. And it's very comforting to know that there's an organization, not everyone, not only in the country, but in the state, we don't have organizations like that when you get outside of our metro area as much. So it means everything. And what Steve Holly and the Guns N' Hoses organization do for the monies they raise and to give the Backstoppers is huge.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you can't wake up every morning and fear that. I mean, they wouldn't be able to do their job. That would really impede what they're doing when they put that uniform on. I've had a lot of people, Captain, to tell me, do you ever fear when your husband walks out of the house? And I say the same thing. Well, I can't do that. I put the trust in our good Lord above of, take care of him. That day, I was at Fox 2, the day that Officer Schneider was killed. That one was hard for me because that was his precinct. And he was the second person. So it was Blake, and then Jim had showed up right after that. And so it was too close to home. And I couldn't get a hold of him. And that's the hardest thing for a family member when we can't reach you. And we know it could be in it could be in St. Louis City and not in the county or St. Charles County, but we still are, wait, are you okay? Right? And then, but then you still have to go back going, I've got to let you do your passion. I've got to let you do what you do. Have your family members ever said, oh, I can't wait till you retire. I can't wait till you're out of that uniform?
No, I think they love what I do. I know my wife is just like you are with Jim, but extremely supportive. Even during, I think her most probably tenuous times were during Ferguson, because she's watching that live unfold in front of her eyes like the rest of the nation was, to where it's not just Fox and
Right.
KMOV and KSDK, and it's
The whole nation.
literally CNN and Fox and Big Fox and all of the MSNBC. Everybody's there, and it's playing out 24/7, and she can see what's going on. So I think that was the only time in my career where she was a little bit like had to flip the TV off, because it's just like I can't watch what's going on.
You can't
anymore.
consume all of that. It's also, and then you have all of this now, right? Everybody thinking they're a
That's right.
journalist, and then all over social media, it's just clips of the agenda they want to show. You weren't seeing the whole story play out. So you're seeing bits and pieces. We're watching you on TV, and then we're wanting to see you again to continue to follow you to make sure you're okay, you're okay. A scary time. But again, these heroes do this for us. So we have a small part in saying, okay, let's give back. How can we give back to them? So you played in it last year. So tell us what we can expect when we come out in the end of May.
Last year, the police, we won in a shootout, 6-5 against Fire. The Ambush hosted us 2 years in a row. This year, we're going to be playing outdoor at the Premier Field over at WWT Field, or Soccer Park, as we know it. Jim Kavanaugh and Worldwide Technologies and his admin, Holly Shanker, have really taken care of us. Steve Petcher over with St. Louis Scott Gallagher, and John Anderson, who runs the field over there for probably 30 years. We're going to have an 11-on-11 soccer game. We have 240-person rosters. It holds about 5,500 on the Premier Field, and I think we can get close to that. Sponsorship is huge right now.
Yes.
We do have room for some sponsorship,
That's what I was
but
gonna ask you. Okay.
our kits, our uniforms are decked out. We're gonna look like a third division team. From Worldwide to O'Brien Law to Zoll to the Irish Gypsy in St. Charles County. They're supplying us with practice jerseys. So I mean, it's going to be wild. It's going to be a great game, very competitive. Spencer, special needs. We're going to do a halftime game with that. So we're going to have a lot of people out there. We're going to have 500 goodie bags for the first, I believe, 500 kids that come in. Sponsored by Jack in the Box, Anheuser-Busch, actually Gray Eagle Distributors. They're a big part of it. So it's going to be fun, family fun. Quality, high-level soccer.
Yeah, you're always looking for something to do with the family. This is it. And it's going to feel good for everyone that's there, whether it's the officers and the firefighters that are playing, and they see all of you that are there to support them. By the way, to get tickets, stlgunsandhoses.com. It's $20 for those that are 16 and up, $10 for 6 to 15. It's free for kiddos, by the way, that are 5 and under, so an 80-minute soccer game. I need you to do me a favor, because I always love this story, and I haven't heard his name in forever. Steve Petcher had a Mustang that was back when I was in high school, and my dad, this is back when St. Charles wasn't built up at all, and we ended up going to look at the vehicle, didn't know that it was his, and I wanted that so bad. I think I remember it was some kind of a blue. My dad wouldn't let me have it because he said it had too much power, and he's like, you don't need that. But it was Steve Petcher's car, so pass that along, because that is my story. I think it's a blast. Yeah.
His nephew's actually one of our detectives. So,
oh yeah.
If they're not watching now, I'll make sure.
Yes,
I'll make sure they.
It's a good memory from back in high school.
Steve's
so
good.
again,
Steve's a good guy.
Good, very good. So Hall of Fame soccer players, meet and greet, photo opportunity. St. Louis City SC players are going to be there also.
Absolutely. I know Makai Joyner, our Miggy Perez will be there. And we have one or two others that'll be out there too. So
this sounds like a blast. I hate it. We're going to be in Alabama, because I looked right away. I'm like, Jim, let's go. And he's like, honey, we're going to be in Alabama.
Yeah.
You need to get him to play. That would be funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Exactly.
He hasn't played since grade school, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so tickets again are available, and you can go to stlgunsandhoses.com. You just heard him say sponsorship opportunities, which I had to laugh, Sergeant. It was the fact that, yes, you might have it all over your uniform, but trust me, just like in athletes, they'll look for somewhere else. Hey, can we put something over the top of your head?
Right. Absolutely. Right.
We'll have a drone above.
Yeah, I've got plenty of
You got
space
some
for
space
it up there.
up
Yeah,
there.
that's for sure.
Well, I'm looking forward to this, and we'll do a follow-up, by the way, and we hope to be able to say, nothing against firefighters, but because I am deeply tied to police, I'm hoping to hear that you guys win again. And if it can go all the way down to a shutout, who doesn't love that?
I agree.
That's
Should be a good time. Gentlemen, thank you for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us.
And to all of you, by the way, thank you for watching a great show today. Thank you to our dear friend, Tim Ezell. And tomorrow, it's a Wellness Wednesday. We will have Trisha Rhodes back in from Exist Stretch. Can't wait for that and the lives that have changed. Again, athletes coming back from injuries. We talked about April being Parkinson's Awareness Month. Love to see how that's helping as well. Tim just gave a shout out saying that the stretching really helps him as well. So don't miss that. That's coming up for you tomorrow. From now till then, remember what we always ask you to do, and that is to be kind. God bless you all.
The Real Monica Adams Show is brought to you by Exist Stretch. Stop by for your free consultation and 30-minute introductory stretch today.